Are you looking for relief from stress, anxiety, or pain? If so, you may want to consider trying CBD. CBD is a natural compound found in the hemp plant that has been shown to have a variety of health benefits. CBD can help relax your mind and body, reduce inflammation, and improve sleep. It is also non-addictive and has no known side effects. If you're interested in trying CBD, check out our website at www.hypnotizeme.com. And remember, if you're not hypnotized, then you're not doing it right. That's hypnotizeme.com, www.hypnotizeme.com for our high quality CBD products and drinks. Hypnotize Me, a sponsor of the Bossfest Podcast.
It seemed like everybody want to be a boss these days. Everybody want to be a boss till it's time to pay out, you feel me, till it's time to pay that boss cost. They ain't trying to have them tough conversations. They ain't trying to put in them extra hours, catching that windfall money, dealing with folks not being consistent. Don't get me started on the lack of sleep, but you know what they say.
Boss Life, BOSSFEST, Bossfest Podcast. Each and every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, guaranteed to get you right. BOSSFEST, the Bossfest Podcast. They might make you laugh, make you mad, make you cry. Either way it go, it's a vibe. Tune in, catch the topic, get the tea. Ain't no shallow waters over here, we get deep. You sensitive, easy to offend, you need to flee. But them tough conversations gonna be happening. Bossfest Podcast, they hold it down. Wednesday, 7 Eastern, man, it's going down. Tell a friend to tell a friend and y'all gather round. Get active in the comments, don't get lost in the crowd.
Hey, what's happening? It's your man DJ Bush. I had to show love to Kevin and Edwina, Bossfest Butlers. Y'all know what time it is, the Bossfest Podcast. But you already know what we live in.
Boss Life, BOSSFEST, the Bossfest Podcast. Each and every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, guaranteed to get you right.
Welcome again to the Bossfest Podcast. How y'all doing out there today? Let me switch these camera angles around. Ooh, sorry for being a little late. I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but audio issues always happen. They come about time to time, video issues, but according to my wife, it's every dang show. So
every show.
It's not gotten a lot better with this. All right, now I get the sideways look. Got it. So, listen, we got a special show today. Special guest gonna be joining us, giving us information, giving us game, and I'm excited to have this person on the show. So, Miss Jasmine, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good. So, crazy.
I'm just looking at you because you're talking. Go ahead. You feeling some type of way?
I'm gonna be quiet because I'm talking and I'm feeling some type of way. Ooh.
I'm trying my best not to laugh. I promise.
No, this is what we do. So people think this is everyday life for us. We've been doing this for so long. We just need everybody else to realize it. It's just how we communicate, interact. It works for us. So hey, we gonna keep
I'm just
running.
wondering when you're gonna let the guest introduce herself. You doing a lot of him and Han and
Go ahead, guest. Introduce yourself.
wow. Now she just gonna be guest.
That's what you said.
Let's run it back.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm Jasmine. Let me just step in real quick. I am Jasmine. I
I'm trying
am
to save you from getting hurt on a
CEO.
good Wednesday.
Please. Don't hurt them. Don't hurt them. But I'm Jasmine. I'm the CEO of J&KC Life Insurance Agency. You know, I'm a broker. We deal with life and health insurance. Been in the game since 2020. And so I feel like things are going pretty good and I'm loving it.
That's what's up. So since 2020, what was you doing before? So what was your job before then?
I worked for the public defender's office for about 14 years down in Bartow at the courthouse. And yeah, I know what a big switch up from insurance to, I was actually in accounting. I worked in administration with doing accounting there. So yeah, big switch up. But I don't know if y'all, everybody remembers with 2020 COVID happening, we had to do some people had to switch up some things depending on what was going on in your life, with COVID things shutting down. And so I had to make some switches. It was definitely by faith, y'all, because y'all, being in business for yourself versus getting that check, that's coming, that was a big jump in 2020 when things are shutting down. But oh my God, I guess I had to, in order to make that switch, my back had to be against the wall because there was no way I would have did that just because, my back had to be against the wall to say, okay, hey, I need to make some changes. And I am grateful I did because, hey, I end up being able to make my own hours, being able to get paid more than what I was, getting there. So, and I feel appreciated, being there. I didn't feel quite as appreciated as I feel like, I should have been. So I'm grateful, get to spend more time with my family. That's the biggest thing, with my kids growing up. I still have very young kids. So I'm grateful.
Yeah, I feel like we receiving a word today. I felt what she said in my spirit.
You ready to quit everything, huh?
Just say it.
I just want you to know I feel that because I think COVID changed perspectives for a lot of us. A lot of people, especially in our generation, went to work. You thought you had to work to accomplish certain things and get the things that you want. And you didn't realize until COVID happened, and maybe I'll just speak for me, the things you were missing out in life, which is family and just being a part of certain activities because you went to work and gave extra of yourself. And once you become an entrepreneur, you see the benefits of the hard work because you're actually working for you. And then you can to be a part of a lot of things in family. So I'm saying I received it.
I'm glad you
Yeah, it was. I was just gonna say it. It came in good timing for me actually because I was working 8 to 5 and also going to get my degree. So sometimes I was in college full time or mostly full time and still working full time. So that took a lot of time from my family, my kids. Sometimes they were like, well, Mama, can we do such and such this weekend? I'm like, no, girl, I got to do, go to the tutor this weekend. No, I got to do this. And, you can't buy that time back. So who knew, I graduated in 2020, but who knew that I was going to have that moment where I can give them all my time, well, not all of it, but, most of my time. I can pick my kids up from school now. I can drop them off because before I couldn't do that. My kids go to a private school, so I always had to get someone to take them to school. There's no bus system for them. So now I get to do it myself. These are small things I know, but it makes wonders for me. So I'm glad. I'm glad that I,
I said I think they're major, so it's
yeah,
good stuff.
yeah. Yes, it is. And, be able to talk to the teachers personally right there on the scene, if anything's going down, it was major. So I'm really grateful. It was scary. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It was so scary. I was like, what in the world? Of course, my mom was like, girl, don't be leaving that job. You done been there all that time, comfortable, that comfort zone. People get scared to come out that comfort zone. But I was too. I ain't even gonna lie. I keep it transparent. I was very scared. But I to keep it real, I was my kid's schedule, it switched up. So, at one point in time, school was shut down or something like that. A lot of stuff was shut down. And when they went back to school, they kind of went they had a different schedule. So they had like a group that would go during A day, and then they had a group that went back B day. So anyway, to accommodate them, I had to have a different schedule. And I know I could have easily put them in public schools, not saying there's nothing wrong with public school, but when you got kids that are thriving, you don't want to change that, right? So for me, I was like, I need to come up with something else, because I want to keep them there, and I want to make sure that they're able to do like they need to do and still be able to come home on the days that they're not going. They were too young at the time to stay home by themselves. So that's what made me say, you know what? Gotta go. I gotta figure something out. So here it is. That's how Jay and Casey was born.
I like that. So what did you get your degree in?
Management administration. Thinking I was gonna stay where I was, that was the plan, because I was already in administration, and so I could be able to kind of, move up the chains even more so. But, it's one of those things when I think back, they didn't have anyone that looked like me in that area. And it just seemed like it was far-fetched. Like, we don't put people in that position. So I already kind of in my head, once I graduated, I knew that there needed to be an exit strategy anyway. But of course, you want to wait till you get the degree. I didn't get the degree until December 2020 versus, before I left.
I hear that, but wait. So not in little old Polk County at Bartow, I'm guessing at the courthouse. So it wasn't people look like you in certain positions in 2020. We still doing that here in Polk County?
Not in the public defender's office. It was at the clerk's office.
Oh,
at the clerk's
so in the
office.
office where they persecute
matter of
people,
fact,
they
I
look
have
like
a little
people.
cousin. Her mom was supervisor. And see, it makes a difference, because your clerk's office, that those are county jobs. So public defenders, that's a state job. Even though we're in the courthouse, we're still considered state. But no, he didn't have anyone that looked like me.
And you surprised at that?
Yes, I'm surprised. Listen, according to all the stuff that you hear on news and stuff and social media, like, hey man, they're still not blocking access for people like us to be in the positions, but apparently they still blocking access for people that look like us to be in positions in 2020.
Yeah.
And you about to change the whole subject
I'm not,
of the podcast.
listen,
I already feel
I'm not
what you're
going there.
doing.
That ain't this show, so I ain't gonna do that. So today's
But it's
topic,
true.
so because I was
Yeah,
gonna
they
go off
didn't.
base.
Right.
They didn't.
Let me put the banner up. Are you prepared for future success? That is today's topic. So
Kevin is not prepared for future success. He wasn't even prepared for a future podcast at 5 o'clock for us to start at 7. So you can't be prepared for future success. That's just my dig for the day.
it's gonna be 5 more.
He getting on your hard, man. You might as well just go on.
It's crazy.
That's it.
See, my wife know what my challenges were today, and she don't care. Whole back broke, limping around the house. You ain't ready.
He got a cane though, y'all. I just want y'all to understand that he have a cane, so he could have hobbled to get the
right. Thank you. I'm glad somebody else has a little bit of empathy towards me. Just
I bought the cane for you.
God, thank you for buying the cane. All right, back to the show. So, so with you being in life planning, life insurance, and things like that, every time I talk to someone that's in that space, the biggest thing they say, especially when it comes to our people, is that we're never prepared. We don't really take this thing serious. Looking at the future, what happens after we go, and things of that nature. How many of those conversations have you just now had to realize and have with people like us to say, hey, you don't know what tomorrow gonna bring. Are you preparing yourself, your family, to be able to deal with life situations when you're not here?
It's amazing. The responses that I get back, I can get. That's not something I wish to ever talk about. And you just, that's bringing upon bad wishes. Oh God, I've gotten some stuff that has blowed me. I'm just like, you for real? Because you do know one day you checking up out of here, right? Like everybody checking up out of here. There's like nothing that we can do about that. Of course, we try and prolong it, do whatever we can to keep ourselves healthy or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's got to happen. And it hits home with me even more so when when you've had someone that's passed that you're close to and you had to be a help in some way, form, or fashion. My husband's dad passed 2021. And so of course we, had to be a help, with his mom, just being in the home, and you want to make it as comfortable as possible. I mean, life insurance doesn't take that grief away because of course you still got to go through, the process. But anybody know, if you don't have the funds to do what you have to do, whether it's simple things, light bill, water bill, because your home is used to a 2-income home. Because you already know when that person passes in your home, that income is passing too. So all you're doing is preparing. It's not saying that we wishing that you die, or we wishing you die, soon. The younger you get it, the cheaper it is. So it's better on your budget. So that's for one. For two, it's not all about just getting that life insurance policy for when when you die. You could draw from that life insurance policy while, you still living and, you good. Or, if you get into, if you have some type of heart attack, some type of critical or chronic issue, you could draw from that as well. There are policies out there that have that living benefit in there that, you can use it while you're still alive, because in the way they're looking at it is they want you to get better. They don't want you to stress. So let's give you a percentage of your life insurance policy to make sure you can take care of those bills and you're not rushing back to work. So you can focus on getting healthy. So there's so many things out there. And that's the thing, like because we don't talk about it, we don't think about getting things like this until it hits home. Somebody died and we got to scrape up the funds to bury them.
Fish fry. We like fish fries.
Yeah, fish fry, GoFundMe. People standing out there with the signs, help me. Car wash. I mean, do you want to do that while you're in the midst of grieving though? Especially if you could get a policy, 20-30 bucks a month, even if you just get something small, at least that'll be covered. That funeral expense, at least that'll be covered. You ain't got to worry about that. If you just don't want nothing extra to help pay for your bills, get that part out the way if you don't do nothing else. But my advice is, if you are used to a 2-income home, get that policy, because you don't want to lose your house. You done invested all this, money in your home, and you got to lose it because you can't afford it anymore. Or, I mean, even if you're talking about luxuries, if you're a type of person that, you like a lot of luxuries and that other income gone, and now all of a sudden you can't afford that luxury anymore. Come on. It's the way of life.
Kevin,
I see Simone mentioned about the fish fry sometimes probably touch the cost. Uh-oh.
No, I don't know why my mic went down.
That's probably did.
But I see that Simone's right. It hardly touches the cost,
I feel like the conversation
is going out on YouTube, Edwina.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Listen, my mic going dead.
Now.
She can hear you. Go
I
ahead.
know she can hear me now. I was just gathering my strength because she about to have to prepare you. Like, get anyway. I was just saying that I feel like the conversation itself is a hard conversation to have. Whether you're talking about yourself and preparing for the future, or you're talking about someone else, it's just tough. And before we get into that, I just want to go into the comment where it says, "Come on, Kev, like just somebody feel my pain sometimes because the mic was dead last time we was on. Why it's still dead today? I just need to hire me a video. I'm gonna prepare for my future. Y'all don't worry about it. Let's talk about the question.
Yeah, I'm gonna let her prepare for her future because she about to die.
I mean, honestly, I have actually been in an appointment where I've had someone break down and cry right in front of me and had to exit the room, and the husband had to finish out the appointment with me on the Zoom because I went into some avenues that she wasn't trying to go there, but it hit something for her. It made her think about some things.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's where I want to go because you know why? I want you to see how important that policy is to the point where you're like, when the payment getting ready to come out and you like, oh no, I need to make sure that those funds are there because I want to make sure we're good. I want you to see how important that payment is because that'll be the next issue. You might walk away with a policy, but then people get to a point where they feel like it's not important. Oh, well, I done had it 6 months. I done had it 8 months. Ain't nothing happened yet. You know what? I hold on to this bill. I mean, I hold on to this money for a little bit longer. I just, I cancel that out. No, you don't need to do that. And I've had it where, yeah, they've done that. And they've came back to me thinking, okay, I'm good. I should be able to get another. But I've had some that found out, oh, it wasn't as easy as they thought because they had some things on their medical record that prevented them to get the policy that they had before.
That's good to know. So we're kind of talking about preparing ourselves for the future. That kind of took us into preparing ourselves to possibly not be here. But I'm going to switch gears and let's talk about preparing our business for future. And I know you started I'm going to call it a COVID baby business, but how do you stay relevant and just prepare yourself for what the future looks like in business?
Well, for one, save, because I think COVID taught a lot of us, we don't know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. I think, and this election is saying a lot too, as well. We don't know where it's going to go, how things are going to go. So saving for one, I know for me, I don't have that steady paycheck like I did at the public defender's office. But I have to make sure, that there's, until I get to that next sale or to, something that, my checks are random, I guess I should say. As business owners, our checks are so random, throughout the month. So you just definitely want to make sure you stay prepared and saving. The other thing is, I think I feel like when I got in business, I got into a lot of things that were wasteful. I thought I needed them. I thought I needed to do certain things or, to help my business. And you learn so much going to things like, I know you guys got the Bossfest coming up, other entrepreneurs are there, people that, have been in business for a while. That's why you want to make sure you're networking with these different ones, even if they're not in the same business as you guys, we can gain from each other. So, talk about these different things, man. You don't want to, well, I know when I did something similar to that, this is what happened. I don't know if that's a result you want, but this is what happened for me. That helps. I know last week we were talking about the wrong advice at the wrong time, and taking advice from certain ones, but I just feel like when entrepreneurs are networking, we can still be such a big help to one another. But you don't want to waste your money. You don't want to waste your money. You want to make sure you're doing whatever you can to keep that money together, for the business. That's right. Bossfest, October 6th. I'm so mad I ain't gonna be able to participate in that. I'd have something already planned, but
So
yeah.
as I'm sitting here listening to this, as I'm trying to get my life together so I don't die with this sound and videos and all this stuff. What has been one of the most challenging parts for you as you now have committed yourself 100% to this endeavor? So as an entrepreneur, you had a steady job. You say the checks ain't steady. What has been that thing that's like, you know what? I'm not going back to that 9-to-5 space, because even though this is uncertain, I still feel I have more confidence in this than going back to what I was doing.
For one, I know when I work at the public defender's office, and not to say that this will happen at another job that I will go to, but I do remember working for them and not feeling appreciated and doing 10 times the work and not getting paid for what I felt like I deserved. But here I am, something that might take me 30 minutes and I can get that same paycheck, for what took me a whole month, you know what I'm saying? I can probably, I can wrap up in 30 minutes or wrap up in an hour, or even in a week, I don't know, it's just, sometimes they're small, sometimes they're big, but, I'm not working as hard. And yes, the paycheck may not be consistent, like, you knew on the last day of the month that check was in your account every time. So this is a more by faith type thing. But as we get older, y'all see we breaking down, stuff happening. You already got, Kevin on the cane. We got to do what we have to do, to keep ourselves together. You know what I mean? So who wants to work hard and they don't have to? And then like I was saying earlier, the time that I'm able to give to my kids, that's a payment within itself. Just the summers. I look forward to the summers. We look forward to the summers because we know we ain't got to ask nobody. I ain't got to ask nobody, can I take off for this so I can go, we could do this and do that. Okay, when we playing, what we doing? How we doing it? Get the schedule together. Let me see how we going to do this. I love that. So now you're going to tell me to go back to a 9-to-5 where I don't know if they're going to appreciate me. I don't know if they're going to, if I'm not in their clique, if I'm not in their clique, then we're not going to give you that raise that you deserve. No, I don't, I don't have time for that, and I will say I do miss the social part of being out there with the people, because I have a few people under me, but they're remote, they're in different states and stuff like that. So other than my little business, my business partner, I don't see people and then, my clients, but just having coworkers, I do miss that. I miss adulting. But if it's not my kids and my husband, that's pretty much it. I try and make sure I get out as much as I can. We do a lot of things with our church. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Usually you don't realize, going to those 9-to-5s, how you seeing all these, the different ones and being able to socialize a little bit. So I do miss that. So I can't say I don't miss it at all. But when it comes down to it, all the benefits that I'm getting, in my own business, nah, I'm good.
I feel that.
That's what keeps me going. That was your question.
Absolutely. So the fact that you're like, hey, the only thing that's really challenging is the socializing piece. And if that's it, hey, I scroll on Facebook or look through this Instagram and whatever. But
what? That's why I'm going to continue to like the other entrepreneurs posts, and I'm going to engage with other people because that's my social.
That's your
Sometimes
social.
I get a little wordy. I get a little chatty, but that's my social. I'm okay, and it's not to say that I don't have issues or whatever, but getting caught up in drama, I'm getting older. My patience getting a little, a little lower. So, I ain't got time for that. So
Felt that one. Ooh,
I don't need
don't
you over here
got no
catching the Holy
patience.
Spirits over that.
Patience is 0.
We know.
I just want everybody to feel me in podcast land.
y'all know how it can be though.
So for no,
But when you go out there to that.
Say it again.
Me or him?
You.
It's a okay. It's a delay. No, I was just saying, y'all know how it can be. Especially trying to climb the charts. Sometimes things it's like in that good old boys club or whatever. And in the public defender's office is more like a political office. It's like if you're not here, you don't get that. Now, I will say I would like to. There's supposed to be one of my friends. She's running to be a public defender right now. And I am excited, even though I'm not there. I'm excited for her because I'm hoping that there'll be a lot of changes. I'm hoping that it won't be like it was when I was there before. I'm hoping that there'll be some fairness there, than it was before, because it was ridiculous. I'm just being honest. They're probably gonna kill me if they hear this, but that's my truth.
See, I'm trying to keep it on this because you touched on something in political space, and I'm trying to stay on topic because I remember whatever the last public defender that I seen was running for office. And I remember Grady Judd just having his hands on this dude's shoulder and saying, hey, this is the person that needs to be and all that stuff. And now I see more names coming out this year for public defender. And it's making me try to now research.
Who are you talking? Because I probably was working for her. We can't do
remember
names.
The dude name.
We got to leave names out.
I don't care about names. I just can't remember the dude
I'm
name.
sure I was.
You probably
was it Marion Mormon? Or Rex Deming?
Sure. Rex, that sound more
familiar.
Like
okay.
Rex. It sounded like it was. I think it was like Rex or something.
Like yeah, because that's the one I left under, and that was a piece of work. It was a piece of work. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like, man,
got it.
I'm gonna just be straight up with you. To me, that was like a mini Trump for me.
Ooh.
Sorry, not sorry. Whoever's dealing with him, I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. That's how I feel. I'm talking about tantrums. Yeah. The unprofessionalism. I'm sorry. Somebody's probably really hating me right now, but because I got a lot of people on my page from them, because it doesn't mean that, the ones that were working there that I didn't get along with them, but, he just really showed his true colors for me, and yeah, just being straight up. I wouldn't dare. I would pray that I would never have to have the challenge of working back under him again, even though he's retiring. So that's good. Like I said, the new person that's trying to come in, that's the first time I can honestly say I can see some change. I can hope that, she would have some change. First off, is, a woman that's going to be there. So I'm hoping that she could have a little bit more, they were so, what's the word? I feel like she could feel the people more, a little bit more sympathetic to the people than what he was. Not to say that men can't be sympathetic, but he was so hard. And I know that she feels people, you know what I mean? Because I've dealt with her personally before she ever even thought of coming a public defender. As a matter of fact, she switched. She was actually a prosecutor at one time, but she couldn't deal with the fact that she's putting people behind bars, whether they did it or not, type deal. You see what I'm saying? So she has a conscience. You know, when you start getting into that field, you start losing the conscience in a way. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
absolutely. So, I wish I could remember her name right now, because I feel like for everybody in Polk County that's listening to this, the way we prepare for our future success, none of us want to be in front of a judge having these conversations. But if we do happen to be there, we definitely want to make sure we put somebody in place that's going to be empathetic to our situations and things of that nature. So that's another way. All right.
Yeah.
Get her name.
All right.
Yeah.
So people are saying,
I
speak your
mean,
truth. I'm just reading the comments.
Oh, yes, that's Blair. Somebody asked, is that Blair? Yes, I am
Yes.
speaking about Blair. I saw that that last comment. Yep, that's Blair. Blair Allen. She is. Oh, she's it. She's it. I know I had my first opening or my first event at our office one time. You know, we did like different vendors there, and she actually came. You know, just to kind of meet everybody. And this was before she was running, you know, but she loves minority. So, you know, her and her husband, they're very sweet people. And I'm like, girl, yeah, you need to get that. Go and get in that seat.
Well, hopefully some people see this podcast and hear the conversation we had. And if they didn't know who they was going to be potentially voting for, because we only think about the main elections, we sometimes don't think about the state and city official positions and things of that nature. This is how we prepare for our future success, by putting people in place that even if we don't think we may need them one day, that if they are in there and we do need them, hey, our outcomes have a better probability of working out for something that's tangible for us. You know, you never think about those things, even with judges and stuff like that. So, jump back on.
Yeah,
this
you know, that I feel like the whole system is ridiculous anyway. I don't think it'll ever be fair, if you just want my opinion about it. I saw so much, man. I saw so much. I don't think it'll ever be fair, but I'm just saying, on a working basis, what's you know, the power that she has, because you know, sometimes, like for instance, when Obama got into the seat, you know, there was a lot of promises, right? So there was only so much he could do if the House and the Senate didn't, you know what I'm saying, if they didn't go for it, whatever, however the logistics go. So I just feel like whatever's within her power, I just think that she will do whatever she can to, you know, make sure things go right. I mean, I've seen some stuff just from her being a lawyer, you know, that girl has done some things, man. And I'm like, wow, she didn't have to do that, you know, especially with the, you know, y'all know the rep or the, how people look at the public defender's office, you know, y'all jokes, you know, and I'm not saying that everybody is 100, you know what I'm saying? But I do know that there are some lawyers that actually really care. There are some that some of them don't last long. Some of them end up going into private practice, you know, but there are some that really, really care. And that girl right there, I have to say, yeah, she did that.
That's good stuff. That's good to know. So, Kevin, you said you were going to change gears. What were you trying to talk about?
No, I just wanted to, because I know that's more political there, and I was going to take us down a deep rabbit hole if we stayed there for a minute. So I didn't want to change the show today, but I know that information need to get out there. I know people have been seeing the billboards and that information being shown. especially as we start nearing, as the political climate has just shifted again on us. And I think all of us are feeling a little bit of the uncertainty of what's the right decision, who's the best candidate, and things of that nature. And we look at it from a presidential standpoint, but I look at things more locally than, 'cause the president can only do so much. But it's those people that's in local position, local power, that's getting voted in with 10,000, 5,000 votes. But I know, hey, we are a big voting block ourselves in this community, and we just need to make sure we step up. But the question I was going to ask, it relates to life preparedness and things of that nature. So a lot of people still have 9-to-5 jobs, right? And they may get insurance through their company and stuff like that. Is that insurance? I know it's good to have insurance, but is that insurance good for them to get, or should they be thinking about something that's outside that can do a little bit more for them?
So usually when you get insurance through your job, that's a good thing. However, you're investing money into this job. I mean, well, sometimes it's free, right? But then there are some, where you have to actually pay for the insurance at your job. So as for me, if I'm going to put my money into something, I want to see the investment. So that means if I leave that job and I can't take that insurance with me, I've invested in something that was pointless for me, because now I got to go out and find another insurance policy that if I would have got it when I first started that job, it would have been cheaper, right? So now I got to go and find some other insurance, and that insurance is going to go with me wherever I go. It doesn't matter if I quit the job, get another job, I still have that same policy, same premium. It doesn't change. Whereas, if I got that insurance with the job, a lot of times if they allow you to keep it, it'll increase. And the reason why it increases because a lot of times they don't want you to keep the insurance company. It's almost kind of like you become like a liability if you were to leave the job, because they don't know where you're going. They know long as you work in this job, in their minds, they have some kind of control. They know that you got a steady job or whatever, but in their minds, once you leave the job, they're looking like, we don't know what you're going to end up doing. It's almost like you're a higher risk. We really want you off as a client with them. They want you to go. They want you to cancel it. But what they do is they raise the rates in hopes that you'll say, well, we'll cancel and I'll just get something else, which is what happened to me. Working all those years with the state, had a policy, and they end up raising the rate. It was actually for my husband. They actually end up raising the rate. They pretty much doubled it. And I was like, child, I can go, I'll write them up, for something, and I did. And I got more. Than what they gave, and I was paying a lot cheaper. So I like to say it's not so much what's better, what's not good, whatever. It's what fits for you. Some people they don't like having the insurance policy or the premium coming out of their accounts. They like for the premium to come out of their checks automatically, so they know, hey, whatever I got in that check is what I got, and I'm just gonna deal with it. And they don't feel responsible enough for that, those funds to come out of their checking account. So for them, having that, insurance policy through their job just works better for them, so that's what I always tell, I let people know, hey, it's what works for you. But just as for me, I see the bigger picture. If I'm going to invest, I want that policy to stay with me. I want my premiums to stay low, and I want some benefits with that. Because sometimes the ones with the jobs, they don't have benefits. Sometimes they're just straight life insurance. So if you pass away, whoever you leave as a beneficiary, they're going to get those funds and call it a day. But if I can get some living benefits with it, that's where your private stuff comes in. Private insurance. And two, another good thing about having insurance with your job, they don't check your medical history like they would if it was a private situation. So, for example, my niece ended up with cancer at 4 years old, right? So she's what, 7, 8 years old now. So she's still uninsurable, because she had a cancer. But her mom works for, the school. So she was able to get her insurance through the group insurance that they have, because all they do is they pretty much add you on. They don't worry about the medical records and call it a day. That's how she's able to have insurance on her daughter. So it's some pluses there. It's not just horrible. But if you got a situation like that where you're finding where it's so hard for you to get insurance because of your situations, something's better than nothing.
I get it. So you was talking about some of the benefits of having your own, I guess, your own private policy versus one through the company. What are some of those benefits?
So you're looking at critical illness, you're looking at chronic illness benefits. So anything dealing with your, if you come down with, you have a heart attack, cancer, anytime you come in with something like that, the hospital says, hey, you need to stay for such and such because you had this heart attack or whatever. You're going to let the insurance company know, hey, I had a heart attack. They're going to, you got to submit whatever records to show that proof. Your insurance company can send you funds out, a percentage of your policy. Let's just say you have $100,000 policy. They can send you 10 grand out. Now, with that being said, if you pass away 2 years, 3 years down the line, just keep in mind that they're going to deduct that $10,000 from what they already sent to you earlier. So your remainder is what's going to go to your beneficiary, right? So, but look, you got the chance to use the funds when you needed it the most, right? Because you can't work. You had a heart attack, so you got to get better. So that's a plus. When you have your whole life or you're dealing with those universal policies, you can also withdraw from your policy as well. So when you have a policy that's accumulating cash, that's one of the ways I, helped start my business. I had a policy. I forgot all about the thing that I got in my early 20s. And I was like, I'm gonna cash this out because I had so many others, and I wrote, when you come into the insurance world, you're like, oh, I need that. And I'm gonna get that. So, you just start because you start seeing the benefits of this stuff, But I cashed that one out, to help me start my business. But it's just so many things you could do with these policies, especially while you're young and you're healthy. Man, I would use them. If somebody told me this in my 20s, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? I think, they're just good investments if you could do it, especially while it's low.
We need to get Jasmine on Bossfest stage. Let her teach us how to be our own bank.
Ooh, how to be our own bank. I be forgetting insurance policies can do that too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because y'all have it. Y'all had the Bossfest last year during this same time. You have it the same time every time, don't you?
Yes.
Because it was this time last year. Because I was looking at the tickets. I said, God dog it. We have with our church, we have a a convention during the first weekend of October every time. So, and I'm like, God dang it. Yeah. Because I wanted to go last year.
We want you to, but Bossfest is probably the same thing. It's going to happen the same time every year.
Yeah.
But our ultimate goal is to create some smaller forums as well throughout the year, but to be able to teach the community how to become your own bank and to not have to depend on other people to give you money and use life insurance to be able to create that. That's going to help us unlock some secrets to success. We need to get on that.
Yeah. Now that's one thing I do want to do. I want to put myself in a way where I can speak to more people dealing with insurance because it's so many that don't have an idea. Sometimes I'll start my appointments off with, because I kind of talk to you like you're two in a way, not to degrade you, but I like to make sure you understand what you're getting, right? So I'll ask them, so you're coming to me today for insurance. What type of insurance are you trying to get? Are you trying to get term or are you trying to get whole life? And they're like, wait,
What's the
what? There's a
difference?
difference?
Yeah, what's the difference?
That whole
So your difference is with whole life, it's going to accumulate cash value. And it does just what it says. It lasts your whole life. However, your premiums are going to be more expensive and you're going to get less funds than you would that with a term. So term, it does just what it says. It terminates at a certain period of time. Usually the longest a term policy is going to go is 30 years. But your premiums are going to be a lot lower and you're going to get a lot more as a payout. So then the next question people will say, well, what's better? It ain't what's better. What are you doing in your life that where these policies, you know what I'm saying? How are they going to benefit you? And really the setup that I like to do when I walk out of a person's house, especially someone that's, 25, 30 years old, right? I tell them if they can get both, you're doing really well. You set yourself up really well because you may, with a whole life policy, you'll probably, you could get a whole life policy, $50,000. And for a young person, they're probably going to pay about $35 a month. Whereas on a term policy, you get a younger person, they're probably going to pay about $15, $20 for $100,000 policy.
Right.
You see the big difference? So, but the thing is, in that 30-year span, what do? We buy all kinds of stuff in that our first 30 years, like adult years rather. So from 18 plus 30 years, you buying a house, you're buying a car, you're investing in whatever you're going to invest in. All those things are going to be done, or most of those things are going to be done in a span of 30 years. So that's why they place these term policies out there, because they want you to be able to, when you check out of here within that 30-year span, they want to make sure that you're able to take care of those, assets, the house, the car, the whatever. So that way that'll help. That'll give that person that cushion that's losing that income. You know what I mean? You get to pay these things off and you don't have to worry about that income being missing because you paying them off. You got that term policy. Yes, that term policy is going to end in 30 years, right? But that's when your whole life is going to catch in and it's going to grab, because usually by the time you're in that 60, 70 plus, you're retiring. A lot of times you don't have, not the average person is not trying to buy, all these big things, because now they're focusing on retirement. So usually by the time they're, getting ready to pass around that time, 70, 80 years old, stuff is pretty much paid off. We just want to make sure that, the funeral expenses are paid for. Maybe the last little bit of bills, maybe they got a car they're still paying on, so that's where it works in. You see what I'm saying? So if you get that whole life policy while you're still young, your premiums are low, but if you wait till, 60, 70 years old, I got people right now, they're paying $100 and some dollars for $25,000 in whole life policies. That's a lot of money for just $25,000, $15,000. I got some $15,000 paying $100 and some dollars a month because they waited so late. They waited till they had medical issues. And guess what? The more of a risk you are, the more you're going to pay in a premium. But guess you want to make sure you got something. And then sometimes people say, oh, shoot, well, I'll just save that. I'll put that in a savings, man. I ain't finna do all that. I ain't gonna invest all that. Okay, true. That's cool. If you can put in your savings and save it, that's cool. But guess what? When you have an emergency, what's the first thing you're gonna do? You're going to
Gonna draw
go
from
to
this table.
that savings and you're going to do what you got to do, because it's a survival of the fitness. At this point, we got to make sure we take care of this emergency. But what happened to your cushion if you pass away? That's why insurance comes into play, because guess what? You ain't going to touch that money. You ain't going, you know what I mean? You can't take all of it. There's always something there to make sure you save it, can't touch it, so it can take care of your funeral expenses.
But shoot, 15,000 don't even pay for funerals no more. Like, just thinking.
In some cases, no. Yeah, I mean, your average, I always tell people you don't want to get no less than $10,000 if you're just having, you ain't having no whole big whatever. You just want to make sure you pay the funeral home and keep it moving. Okay. Yeah, y'all have a little something at the funeral home. Okay, that'll cover that. If you're just doing something at the funeral home, you ain't got to pay the church or whatever. You can't have a limo. Sit down somewhere. Y'all ain't finna do all that. Y'all come on and drive in your car, to the funeral home. Yeah,
A little cremation
do that.
action.
You want to and cremations are going up now. They're not as cheap as they used to be.
Where are you at now?
Yeah.
Guess I'm
they're
getting
starting to
buried
go
in my
up.
backyard.
So, they're not. Just dig a hole, then drop me down in there.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so if you want to make sure you have all the jazz, when it comes to a home going, as they say, then you better make sure you got you some, you got a nice policy out there.
So as I'm sitting here processing all this information, I was thinking, because somebody said something to me and I didn't know it was true or not. And I see if I can get you to answer for me. They say when you pass away, the debt collectors come look for their money first before it goes to your family. Is that true or not?
So far as the insurance policy?
Yeah, like if you got any type of insurance money that's allotted to you, like if you got any outstanding debt out there that you owe, that somebody, I guess
How
they say
gonna do that?
Huh? I don't know. That's why I'm asking the question.
Sorry.
So let me say this, yes and no. Let me, because I don't know what kind of agent is out there that people are dealing with. But when you figure out who your beneficiary is, sometimes people may try and leave their insurance policy to their children, and that's cool in this place. But if they are not 18 yet, please don't do it. And I know sometimes you may say, well, shoot, they getting ready to turn 18 in another year. Don't do it. Because if you can tell me the date you're going to check out of here, then I'll put them down. But if you can't tell me the day you're going to check out, I'm not going to do it. And here's why. If you put that person down and they're not at least 18, that money is going to go to what they call probate. And let's just say, because $100,000 is easier. Let's just say it's $100,000. Well, by the time that person turns 18, it is not going to be $100,000, because whatever it took to keep that there, all whatever issues, whatever it is, they can attack probate and take that money. But if you have, if you're leaving it to whomever, they're not going to, they're just, all the insurance company is doing is writing a check and they're sending it over to who you have it to, as long as they're 18 and over. So no,
Okay.
They can't do that if that's the case.
Wow. So it's just making me think about my own policies that I have with my company. So right now, 100% goes to my wife, but let's say some unfortunate, me and her go at the same time. And I had 50% going to my daughter at the time. She just turned 18. Then the other 50% was going to my son.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that 50% that would be allotted to my son that's under 18 is now gonna be in probate?
Oh, he's under 18?
Yes.
Yes. It's not going to him.
Okay. Let me change that around. Hmm. All right.
Yeah, because he's
That's
not
good information.
18.
No,
Yeah, he's
I
not.
was just
And
under
the
the
insurance
impression that
company sometimes.
no, I was just under the impression that so
Yes,
let's say they was under 18 and they passed and we passed away somehow. Let's say my parents was gonna take care of them. I just assumed, and I guess that's wrong for me for assuming that they would be able to have access to this money where the kids would, and it wouldn't be no issue. But I guess that's wrong
so.
thinking.
So they'll be able to fight for it and whatever. Because if you're leaving the kids, whatever will you're leaving, and that's another thing. We need to make sure we're leaving wills, leaving guardianship. So they'll be able to, whoever you're leaving them to, they'll be able to fight for it. But once again, if that money goes to them to probate, by the time they finish fighting, will it be the amount that you've been paying for? It might take you 2 months. It might take a year. You want to make sure you getting, they're getting all of the funds that you have been paying for. Now, most insurance companies will tell you, when we're doing the application, some will give instructions. Please be sure the person you choose is 18 and over. The downfall is sometimes if you get somebody that doesn't know that legal part of things, if you get an agent on the phone, not an agent, but customer service rep that they don't have no idea, they could be telling you wrong. So your agent is the one that's supposed to be educated enough to let you know, hey, this is what you need to do.
Got it. Okay. You just got me thinking. So it's a lot I'm gonna have to do. But I'm glad you got me thinking because I want to process today.
Yeah. And I mean, you don't, that's the thing. We do not know how we're going to go. A lot of times when we're doing these insurance policies, we're going on the whim of, well, I'm good. I'm going to be here for a while. And man, if we knew for sure, we could say it all day, but we don't know for sure. We don't know how we're exiting. I mean, like I said, I'm telling you, when someone passes that is close to you, I feel like reality hits a little bit because my father-in-law it pretty much did it for me. I mean, I've had someone else that passed a little closer, but I had time to say goodbye to her. You know what I'm saying? She was sick. She went through the steps and I knew she was finna go. She told me she was tired and we was good, but him, Sunday, hey, Dad, okay, see you later, Daddy. And then Monday morning, y'all calling me calling at 9 something and saying you found him on the bathroom floor. Like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Like, it was hard to register. So we didn't know, so you don't know. And like I said, I know this is a hard subject to talk about for some people, but that's how, when you make the arrangements for your will, when you make the arrangements for your insurance policy, that's how you want to think. You want to think of it as, if I pass today, these are the rules or these are the things that I want done. Because you don't know.
I feel that. Edwina, you got anything?
No, I feel like this is really good education. I know we're about to wrap up, so I want to make sure Jasmine can share her socials. I feel like a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions after this conversation. So make sure to let them know how they can find you and book these appointments because we need to do better.
Yeah, I mean, you can, of course, if you're on my Facebook, Jasmine Capri, you always can message me. We can get some appointments booked there. J and Casey Life Insurance Agency has its own Facebook page. And you're more than welcome to go over there, message me there. My website is jkclifeinsurance.com. There's a chat button there. More than happy to help you there. Any questions? And I also want to put out there, if you feel like you're not sure about your policy or what you got, I'm all game for looking over things and to help you figure out things. I say that because someone did, I thought it was kind of funny, but she actually had the usher bring me her policy in church before. And I was like, what is this? She was like, somebody just gave me this envelope and told me to give it to you. They didn't know what it was. But when I went in it, I'm like, oh, okay, this is somebody's policy. Okay, she wants me to look through it. All right. So, but the good thing about that is I saved her $40 a month, because she was like, I could offer her something better. So, and I'm not doing it so I can offer you anything better. I just the fact that I educated her and let her know what she had, and she didn't have to have that. She could have something better. Somebody just sold her off. Hey, she accepted it. I'm going to go for it. So that's another thing you have to watch out for is you want to make sure when you're talking to these people that you really have their best interests at heart. It can't just be about a sale. Oh my God, it can't be about that. And what better yet to have someone that has already went through this same thing to feel where that person would be. You want them to have the best of the buck, So I'll tell anybody, I got to do you like I would want somebody to do me. I got to sleep at night. I might get by, what I'm saying, at that time, but my time is coming. Y'all know how karma is, So yeah, reach out to me, call me 863-368-5964. That is the office number. Reach out, message. Anytime. I'm up late. Sometimes I've done a policy as late as 12 o'clock before, believe it or not. But hey, I do things for my special clients. You know what I mean? I was up. I was like, why not? You feel like it's important. I feel like it's important too. So, but usually no, my hours are a certain time and my hours are on the page. But, if you feel like you need to go ahead and get that done, let's get it done.
That's what's up. So once again, thank you for joining us on the Bossfest podcast. We definitely got some gems for you, some information. We definitely got to figure out how can we get you on the Bossfest stage to drop some of this information. But we understand church is important. We can't be playing with the Lord like that. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure out some way to get your information out.
One day, something. Maybe once y'all have one of the many things, I can get in there.
Absolutely. So listen, thank you for joining us on the Bossfest stage, Bossfest podcast, giving this information. For all those people that's listening, reach out to Jasmine if you're trying to figure out your planning your future success as relates to how you will leave this world, how you will plan for that, making sure that your family has a real strategy for when you leave. So that way there are no surprises. There are no fish fries. There are no car washes. There is no GoFundMes. I will tell you, when I look online and I see people doing that, it's like, man, damn, if we just planned a little bit better, then you wouldn't have to be putting your family business out here in these streets like this. So that's one thing I definitely want to make sure I don't do. But more importantly, you give me some tips to now. I need to go adjust some of the things I've done just so I can make sure that the money is more accessible, because I didn't know that if you was under 18 and I put your name on that policy, you don't get it. It sits in probate. So I definitely got to work some stuff out differently on my own stuff. So thank you for those gems. We definitely got to get you back on the pod.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for that. For all those who listening, Boss Fest going down October 6th, Tampa, Florida. If you hadn't already purchased your tickets, go do that. The early bird special still on. We got promo codes out there. Listen, take advantage of this opportunity, this networking event. This is the place where you can learn, collab, grow, expand your brand, expand your knowledge, Get in the room with like-minded individuals. Boss Fest goes down October 6th in Tampa, Florida. You don't want to miss it. We got heavy hitters hitting the stage, delivering game. Remember, Boss Fest, October 6th, going down Tampa, Florida.
Well, we appreciate y'all, and until next
Thank y'all for
Wednesday.
having me.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Peace. We out.